Hello guys. Hi guys. I'm the Rupeeting podcast known as Common Sense by Rupeeting. Today, we have Pratik and Chaitanya. So, only two of us this Rupeeting. So, I think today we are going back to school, right? Yeah. Go back time. Yeah. Since the vacations are ending, so we hope that some kids out there might need us refresher that there's gonna be more study. So, do you have a younger sibling or older sibling?
Yeah, I have a younger sibling.
And I also have an older sibling.
You have an older sibling.
So, you must remember using their books or giving their book.
Yeah, I used to give my books to her all the time.
Yeah. So, I also used to do that. So, it was not good for me because I used to get older books. I'm like, yeah, kya hai yaar?
Right. I had that job of being the elder child in the family.
Nice. Yeah. But it wasn't only me that was upset by the older books. I think the company which we're going to talk about today, which is called Navneet Education, by the way. Okay. So, Navneet Education, they are also not happy about the old books because apparently their business is getting eaten by the old books, right? If you got the new books, then of course they're going to be the ones earning from it. But if you use older books, then that's directly the hit to the revenue.
Yeah, obviously, because new books means more publishing. And Navneet ka business hi wo hai.
Publishing, right. So, but that is what happening since last 6 years. So, unfortunately for Navneet, since last 6 years, they are predominantly in the Maharashtra and Gujarat state board. So, they are also in CBSE as much, but the most of the business of the publishing, it still comes from, I think, the state board education only. So from last 6 years, there has been no change in curriculum for the state boards of Gujarat and Maharashtra. So that has resulted in no revenue growth.
Achha, so is there any particular reason for this no change, or it's just
I think
not very normal?
I think it was made pretty clear by the government that they are going to apply a new education policy. So anticipating that might be the state boards might not be pushing because there's going to be a big change coming, which we're going to talk about in a while. So because of that, it might be, but there were some delays which has happened. So again, as I said, we'll come back to that. So what happened is their revenue from publishing has gone nowhere in the last six years. So almost flat since pre-COVID time. Of course, it dipped because of the COVID, but it hasn't crossed the pre-COVID level as of yet. So, as we said, that's about to change. So the government, I think, introduced new education policy in the year of 2020. So, I think you wanted to...
Yeah, I thought on the NEB then. So, I think in 2020, the government introduced this new policy for education known as the National Education Policy. So, which is supposed to be replacing the National Policy for Education of 1986.
Oh, so that's, I think, 30 years now.
Yeah, almost 30 years now. 32, 35, whatever, yeah. So I think the government brought this big change in the education system of India. So currently, remember we used to have this system called 10 plus 2? Yeah, so first 10 years and then 2 years used to be 11, 12. And now there's changes to 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4.
No.
So they've done that. So the first...
So it is standard.
Yeah. So the first 5 years are for like the preschool.
So it was 3 years it is. Right? So that was from after you were 6 years old, 10 plus 2, this is 3 years old, and 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. Okay, got it.
So they're doing it that way. Then the next 3 years for classes 3 to 5. In classes 12, you have this new system now. And so this NEP is going to bring many changes, as you already mentioned. That it is a big change. So currently, I think most of the schools... I'll ask you a question now. कि तेरे स्कूल में हिंदी तो पढ़ाते ही थे, उसके अलावा और कौन से लैंग्वेज के ऑप्शंस थे?
So I studied in Gujarati medium. So for that was that. So Gujarati was my first language. Then Hindi and English was my second language.
Okay. So basically you had 3 languages. So in my school, what we used to have was Hindi, English fixed, and then we had option between German, Sanskrit and Gujarati. So I could choose one language. So basically मैं भी 3 ही पढ़ रहा हूँ. So now what they've done is, now government ने ऐसा किया है कि उन्होंने 22 लैंग्वेज के ऑप्शंस दे दिए. अब नाउ स्कूल के ऊपर है to decide which language do they
that is more to which language you will be studying everything, not the language.
हाँ नहीं मतलब
Like for example, I studied in Gujarati medium, but let's say I wanted to study in Marathi medium. So that option now they will increase to 22 level.
22 हाँ तो मतलब ऐसा इंग्लिश हिंदी हो तो चले बट देन यू विल हैव मेनी मोर ऑप्शंस तो उससे आई थिंक इंक्लूसिविटी बढ़ जाएगी और जो बच्चे जो पढ़ पाएंगे
New language means new book.
तो बस नई बुक्स
Any syllabus in every language is just not Navneet it's an advantage. And new syllabus that also syllabus. I think वो books वाला system, you know, yeah.
एंड आई थिंक गुजरात एंड महाराष्ट्र का जो बोर्ड्स है आई थिंक नवनीत का मेजर रेवेन्यू कम्स फ्रॉम दीज डेज बोर्ड्स गुजरात एंड महाराष्ट्र एंड वहाँ पे दिस पॉलिसी hasn't been implemented yet.
Yeah.
So we are yet to see the trigger coming for a company yet. I think it will start from what like FY26 because अभी एक साल लगेगा I think to implement.
So for the academic year 26.
Academic year 26, yeah.
So actually that's a very interesting point to mention because the change was supposed to happen in both CBSE and state boards. So CBSE has started not all the way around, but I think class 3 to 6 they have already done the new NEP wala.
NEP चालू हो गया from class 5.
But for Navneet that's very small chunk of business there, as we said, dominantly that by SSC. So what are the problems actually coming for state boards is because as you said it's a big change from 10 plus 2 to 5 but for Navneet only book wala part is there but for the school only they have to train teachers in a new way. There are other things like extracurricular activities and they have been included as you said 22 language so they should also have teachers which can teach in all those languages.
वही अगर resources नहीं है that
Exactly. So that is making a delay implementation of the NEP in state boards. Because earlier what used to happen is, there is a very big business model change also in between CBSE and state boards. So state boards, the teachers they suggest you like any publication. You can go to Navneet. There's also one called Target. So they used to say that you can use Navneet's books or Target books. But in CBSE, it is very different. In CBSE, the teacher prefers the author. So who has written the book, irrespective of the publisher. And then they leave the choice to vendors that which publication they want to sell. For example, Pratik has written a book and they want that book. So they will suggest students that use Pratik's books. Then it's up to vendor to choose that कहाँ से वो मैं किसका book लूँगा. So that was the change between CBSE and SSC. And there's another fact that in the last few years, the state board admission in Maharashtra went down by 10%. At the same time, CBSE admission went up by 24%.
24.
Yeah, so apparently parents are choosing CBSE over state boards now. And thankfully for Navneet, they have catch up on the trend.
I was just going to ask him. Navneet, does Navneet have a presence in CBSE or no?
Yeah, so Navneet way back in 2016 acquired a company called Indianica, which was a subsidiary of Encyclopedia Britannica, which is the encyclopedia. So that publishes the books of CBSE, INTLC and all those things. So they, I think because of they have been in this business since like 60 years, I think they have seen this trend that it will catch up in the future. So fortunately, they have done that also. So for now, they just have to wait for the NSB change, whether it's in CBSE or SSC, and they will be ready to capitalize on.
Yeah. But then if you see, till now we have just been discussing about the NSB aspect and publishing aspect.
Publishing is only 40%.
And it's very much dependent on government and the speed of implementation.
In the Navneet's hand.
Yeah, it's not in Navneet's hand, but then there's this one division which Navneet has been doing pretty well since the past few years, and it is literally in their hands.
Yes.
The stationery business. So yeah, in that stationery business, I think the Navneet gets its revenues through brands like Gala, Yuva and Mekas. I only remember Yuva out of this. I used to buy Yuva notebooks और वो नया notebook का smell मेरे को बहुत सही लगता है.
So मतलब एक Yuva in our school, it used to be like a very premium brand, Yuva. So because Gala is like a economical brand.
तो मतलब उसमें भी ऐसे Yuva, Gala, Mekas and whatever.
Like Yuva is compared to Classmate ITC. And then these two are more economical.
अच्छा.
So the kids who used to use Yuva books, they used to buy that. And everything are also obsessed with the covers of the. So that is also interesting part that Yuva.
इनसे मेरा भी फिक्स था ऐसा कलर देखूंगा ये कलर अच्छा लग रहा है ये ले लिया मैंने. मेरा भी fix.
Life choices were easy back then.
Ouch.
Yeah.
तो देखते ही they sell books and then उसके बाद they have drawing books also. याद है बचपन में ऐसे बन के आता था पूरा कलर का
Picture of India, two mountains and a sun.
बस वो होता है.
So the oil paints also.
Oil paints चलते हैं.
Also non-stationary things.
तो आई थिंक वो इंडिया में तो बेचते ही है. बट देन दिस वॉज अ वेरी सरप्राइजिंग फैक्ट व्हेन आई गॉट टू नो अबाउट कि भाई नवनीत स्टेशनरी एक्सपोर्ट भी करता है. एंड एक्सपोर्ट इज सपोज टू बी हैज अ ग्रेटर शेयर ऑफ देयर स्टेशनरी बिजनेस than the Indian business.
More from export, more from stationery.
Stationery. I think 55 to 60% comes from exports for stationery and the rest for India business. So this was that, and तो ये तो grow कर ही रहा था.
And I think in US they also sell to Walmart and Target.
Walmart, I think they have tie-ups with them also. So obviously, and Walmart, Target, they are almost every household in US goes there only. मतलब अच्छा खासा business तो उन्होंने बना लिया है वहाँ पे. So I think this particular segment of theirs is growing at a CAGR of what, like 26%.
I think that's after the
And pre-COVID it was at 15%. तो मतलब अभी in later stage recently भी और ऐसा push मिला इस business को. And आगे जाके भी if you see looking ahead, there will be more push to the business because I think Navneet is doing some capex of what around 110 crores and their historical asset turnover is in the range of 3.5 to 4 times.
So yeah. So the stationery business, as you mentioned, which is now currently 60% of the total business of Navneet, and publishing is 40%. Before COVID, this used to be reversed. Yeah, 60% was publishing and 40% of stationery. But I think they realized that stationery presents a very good opportunity.
So that is why this explains the reason of 26% CAGR and why the publishing business has come to 40 now.
Okay. So for better thing only, I think they have done very well in the stationery. So, but the question, the elephant in the room is now with the increasing popularity of EdTech and everything, even books still remain relevant as it is because we know what happened. Of course, now though we don't know what happened with Byju's and the thing, but they were at least once a bit trend. At least they were selling brand in the country that you can also learn from your tablets and laptops and everything. But I think what Navneet has been doing is they have been like sort of attaching a EdTech version to the already books. For example, if you are buying their books, so they are attaching a digital version of their books, which will take you to a forum, like a student forum, where you can interact with other students. There will be a video explanation of the same things. So for example, if you see how the food is processed through your intestine, so same, they will provide you a link, which you can go and see that how it is written through a video.
As a theory and learning, but then you can even visualize.
But they don't sold it separately. That is that. There were books. It is included in the books. Okay.
But then this is a good question. Then don't you think so? अगर ऐसा growing need आ रहा है X का और सबका तो then don't you think they should make it as a separate product itself?
Exactly. But
apart from books,
but a company
और milk कर पाए एक particular customer को वो लोग.
Definitely they can do it. But what is happening? The customer purview. Like for example, if I'm buying books from Navneet, I will prefer some new age startup where I can go at, for example, an academy or Byju's and all. So that perception change used to be there. Plus what happens is these are like almost 2,000 crore business, which has been there since 65 years. So for management also, it's a very hard decision to change whole view over. Yeah. But they're, whatever from we have learned it, they are doing very well. For example, they have done a spree of acquisition. So they know that they have been expert in book publishing and not in EdTech. So let's go through the inorganic route. So I think the one they have got is called K12, which it's like a learning management system for school. For elementary school till I think class 10 and 12 they provide. So they have done I think some acquisition 15% stake they bought for 120 crore. So which is a B2B school, they can sell it to schools, all children also. Similarly, 2-3 other things, there's something called SFA Play. It is like a sports EdTech. Swap Play. ऐसे तो एक सेकंड बस sports EdTech का acquire करने का फायदा नहीं है. They just, I think, for example, this what they do is they train the students and everything for this is extracurricular by the way. So that books तो अच्छा है exactly also know. Yeah. So what happens is if your name is there, so basically if sports you are available, study available, it helps in the brand recognition of the bearer. So that is there. Then there's something called Big LLO, which is like AI driven kind of business.
Galileo.
Galileo. That also takes works, right? So in and around, they have spent close to, I think, 200 crore, close to 210 crore in the acquisition. And the big thing is the K12 wala acquisition we talked about. So they used to have close to 15%. So now they have sold 4.5% for 200 crores. So they bought 15% for 120 crores. And now they just 4%, they have sold it in 200 crores, which values that business to 4,400 crore. And the remaining stake, which is still 12%, that is only close to 600. So that turned out to be pretty good for them. And I think they are also bringing all these acquisitions as a strategic partner, not only as an investment. Somewhere they also can learn from all this acquisition and all this thing, and they can help in attack of their own business.
But then now if you see, they're also open to selling their stakes, and it is a good thing for the company.
Yeah, exactly. So the same way that of money. So let's say the stakes and we did for 200 crore. Out of that, the same capex that you were mentioning, that's gonna happen. Yeah. So 110 crores of will happen in stationery business. So that's, I think, only generate around 3.5 to 4 times asset turn. So that is 400 crore business right there, which is again 40% of the stationery business.
And that is 23% of FY23 or 20.
Yeah, full year level.
Full year exactly. So basically, अभी अगर 600 करोड़ मतलब मोटा मोटी, if they start selling stakes in the business, they can easily get around 600 to 800 crores back, and then they can use it for
higher asset turn. Yeah, exactly. Organic plus inorganic. They want to exactly. Because what happens is their ad tech business. So apart from that bundle wala thing I said, these other businesses, they used to make a loss of around 60 crore by FY23. In FY24 also, it made loss around 45 crore. So that also they see being EBITDA break even by FY26. So that part will also hopefully start helping them in, I think we have a chunk of their total balance
and give a push to their profit.
Because of course, at least for the next 5 years, we don't see books going completely. But I think after that, then might change. I think we never know. So they are kind of doing whatever they can in their hands to put that out.
So basically, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि FY25 is supposed to be a year of consolidation for Navneet.
Absolutely.
And
because NEP is also still not
implemented.
Whatever close will come from the state.
Set to be implemented from FY26.
Yeah.
And अगर FY25 में जो भी growth आना चाहिए, it should be solely on the basis of the stationery business.
Yeah.
So FY26 se we can see
or maybe we never know that, let's say notification comes in the middle of the financial year of FY25, let's say Diwali pe.
That's also
so that can be a very big trigger for the stock per se, not the business. Because if the company sees a big chunk of business coming in, so yeah, everything gets factoring very quickly. So publishing, stationery and ad tech. There's just the three basically.
Basically they are पूरे ऐसा information system के value chain में तो कहीं ना कहीं तो
yeah. So for the next 3 to 5 years, there's been a complete, I think we can see 3 clear trends. One is, I think, a big trigger, NEP implementation in state boards and CPSC, CBSC, whatever is there. Yeah. So that can drive, I think, a higher teen growth for the company for at least 3 to 5 years. Because once the visibility comes, the books remains in the system for at least 3 to 5. That's what management is saying. The second stationery, the capex they are doing. So that will also hopefully generate higher growth. So that will be around mid-teen growth. And whatever bonus they can get from EdTech. Yeah. So
but that वो अच्छा है, but if they're able to scale the EdTech business,
that is also
then that would be an idea
because it's a very asset-light business compared to this one. So leverage can be played very well there. So there they have to, I think, they can use their brand legacy and the distribution network they have. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff remain to see. So exam हो गया अभी नवनीत का. Result but unlike us, the result is not out yet.
Yes.
So hopefully they will pass with distinction. So yeah, that's it. I think that is nice. So we'll guys see you in the next week. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.